on in. Mr. McLeod Mondial. Mr. McLeod is here. Today's lesson will be on VII B-form positive phrases, also known as subordinate clauses. So far, we've been learning to express A-form or independent clauses with our VII words. A clause is the part of the sentence that contains a verb, also known as a predicate. In Nishnaabemwin, we have A-form, B-form, and C-form. A-form, or independent clause, is simply a phrase that contains a noun, also known as the subject, and a verb, predicate, that makes sense on its own without any further information. Independent clause versus dependent clause. An example of an independent clause is John is cooking. It makes sense on its own without any further information. You don't need any further information to understand what is happening. Simply, John is cooking. An example of a dependent clause is, if John is cooking. Notice how dependent clauses feel like it needs more information? It almost feels incomplete. That's what makes it dependent. It relies on further information. A-form versus B-form. In Nishnaabemwin, we use terms like A-form, B-form, and C-form to describe what kind of clause we are discussing. A-form, or independent clause, is the simplest to understand and use in our speech. B-form, or dependent clause, is the most popular clause native speakers use because it shares common inflection paradigms with C-form, and it has the most expressive capabilities compared to other forms or clauses. B-form only appears as suffixes for all four types of Nishnaabemwin verbs, i.e. VII, VAI, VTI, or VTA. For this course, we will not have time to learn about C-form. When to use B-form inflections. For the purposes of your learning, we will focus on B-form grammar patterns to elicit B-form phrases. B-form grammar patterns will include an initial word that will force our verbs, currently our VII words, to inflect in B-form. The B-form grammar patterns we will be using: onde plus B-form equals where. So an example of that would be onde pquaquad gimgising. So you can see that onde is the first word. Pquaquad is our noun. It's ball. Gi, past tense marker. Mgisin is our VII word. And then the G at the end is our B-form inflection. All that together means, where did the ball fell? Or fall. Next one, ondewenge plus B-form equals Y. So, ondewenge jabopteg pquaquad. So that means why is the ball rolling? So we have ondewenge, and then we go right into our verb, because that hyphen connects to the verb after wenge. So our VII word is rolling, jabopte. And then we have our G at the end for our B-form inflection, followed by our noun pquaquad. Our next example is onwe, or onwe, plus B-form equals even though. In our example, we have onwe niska dug, even though it's storming. So in this example, we just have the the initial word onwe, then we go straight into our VII example. And then the green there is the B form inflection. Apagish plus B form equals I wish. For example, Apagish mnagishkag means I wish it was a nice day. So again, we can see that we use apagish first, then go straight into our VII word, and then our B form inflection is a G, highlighted in green here. Next example, Gishbin plus B form equals if. So our example is Gishbin mkakan kaboxing, which means if the boxes are closed. So we're starting off with Gishbin first. Then you can use your noun if you like, or you can go straight to the verb. And then in our verb, we have gaboxin, it is closed, followed by its B form inflection, G added at the end, the G suffix. Then we have J plus B form equals to or so. So J pshishkwang mkuk means so the box is empty. So from here we can see J is our first prefix. Then we have a hyphen going straight into the verb pshishkwan, it is empty, followed by our B form suffix G, and then our noun mkuk, box. Next example, je bois plus B form equals before. So in our example, we have je bois ngwankwag, means before it's cloudy. So je bois is our word meaning before, and then ngwankwat is our VII word meaning it is cloudy, followed by our B form suffix G. Next, we have megwa plus B form equals while. Megwa waseag means while it's sunny. So we start off with our word megwa, followed by our VII word wasea, it is sunny, and then followed by our B form suffix G. Next, we have naj plus B form equals until. So in our example, we have naj gamewang, meaning until it rains. So naj means until, gamewan, it is raining, followed by our B form suffix G. And our last one we'll be using is P plus B form equals when. So in our example, we have P mkuk moshnemguk, means when the box is full. P meaning when, mkuk, box, and then we have our VII word moshnemgud, and then we have our moshnemgud means it is full, and then we have our B form suffix G. So positive B form paradigms for VII words that end in vowel sounds. So in this area, we're going to be examining the inflection pattern, and then we're going to examine an example that goes along with it to show you how it works. So third person singular is just the VII word plus the G suffix. So in this example, we are using the grammar pattern Gishbin plus B form. So Gishbin Bakwakwad Jabop Teg means if the ball is rolling. So Jabop Te is our VII word meaning it is rolling, and then G is our B form suffix. So we're just adding the G to the end of the word. That's all we're doing here, just adding a G to the end of the word for third person singular. Moving on to third person plural, again it's the same pattern. We're just adding a G to the verb. And we're going to use gishpin again for our example. Gishpin pkwakwadon jabopteg means if the balls are rolling. So again, singular and plural have the same B-form suffix. It's just the noun that lets you know if it's plural. Moving on to fourth person. Instead of ending our VII words with a G suffix, we're ending them with a nig suffix. So in here, we have gishpin bibis pkwakwadon jaboptenik. That means if the baby's ball is rolling. So gishpin is our grammar pattern. Gishpin is if. Bibis is baby. Pkwakwadon is his or her ball. And then we have our VII word, jabopte, followed by our fourth person B-form suffix, nig. So you can see how that all fits together. Moving on to fourth person plural. Same thing. Same B-form suffix. So our fourth person plural example is gishpin bibis pkwakwadon jaboptenig. And that means if the baby's balls are rolling. So for B-form, fourth person singular and plural are inflected the exact same way. So you can translate them either or. It's up to you. The way to tell though is through context when speaking with a speaker or through a story. If you have background information, you'll know if you're talking about something plural or something singular. Moving on. Positive B-form paradigms for VII words that end in D or T sounds. So third person singular, again, we have our VII word plus the G suffix. So we're using P mkuk moshnemguk, meaning when the box is full. So P is our B-form example, or B-form grammar pattern example. Mkuk is box. Moshnemgud is our VII word. But for words that end in D or T sounds, we replace that D at the end or T with a G sound. So altogether, this means when the box is full. P mkuk moshnemgug. Moving on to the third person plural. Again, it's just VII plus the G form suffix. So we're not changing any of the words, we're just adding to it. So we got P mkakan moshnemgug. That means when the boxes are full. Again, we're using P as our B-form grammar pattern example. And then in this one, we've pluralized the noun mkuk to mkakan, meaning boxes. Then we are using our verb moshnemgud. But again, we're replacing that D sound at the end with a G. And moshnemgud means it is full. Moving on to fourth person singular. It is our VII word plus the suffix nig. So our example here is P nene mkakan moshnemganig. So that means when the man's box is full. So again, P means when. That's our B-form grammar pattern we'll be using for this example. Followed by nene, man, mkakan, his box. Followed by our VI word, moshnemgud. And then we replace the D sound again with the B-form suffix nig. So that's how that conjugate or inflects together. Next, we're moving on to the fourth person plural. So fourth person plural again is just adding the nig suffix again. And just like our last example, singular and plural are written the exact same way. So if you come across a fourth person plural or a fourth person B-form conjugation or inflection phrase in our work, you can translate either or and it will be marked as correct. Again, you can only tell that one is singular or one is plural based on context with the speaker. So we have P nene mkakan moshnem ganig, meaning when the man's boxes are full. So again, those fourth person, singular and plural, are pronounced the exact same way. Moving on. Positive B-form paradigms for VII words that end in N sounds. So again, just like the other examples, we have our VII word plus the G suffix. So in this example, we have Megwa shkwandam jesing, means while the door is open. So Megwa is our B-form grammar pattern example. Our noun, shkwandam, is door. And then our VI word that ends in an N sound is jesin. And then we just add the B-form suffix to it, which is a G. So jesin becomes jesing. Moving on, we have third person plural. Again, VI plus a G suffix. So we're not adding too much to this. We're going to try and use the same words. So we got Megwa shkwandam jesing. So that means while the doors are open. So Megwa means while. And we pluralize just our noun here with shkwandam. And then we use our VI word, jesin, and we add the G suffix with a G. So that goes from jesin to jesing. So we don't have to worry about plural suffixes on our verbs. It's just on the nouns. So moving on to fourth person singular. So fourth person singular is our VI word, and then instead of adding nig to the end, we're just adding ing to the end. So Megwa kweshkwandaman jesning. We're also getting rid of that I sound right before the N sound in our VI word. So Megwa is our B-form example, meaning while. Kwe, meaning woman. Shkwandaman means his or her door. Our VI word is jesin, but we add the ing suffix, and then we drop the I sound between the S and the N. So that's how jesin becomes jesning. And then if you were to guess if the fourth person plural is going to be the same, you are correct. So again, just to know the difference, you can only tell the difference based on context from previous information. Alright, so fourth person plural, again, is just our VI word plus the suffix ing. So our example, Megwa kwe shkwandaman jesning, is the same pronunciation as our last phrase. And it could mean while the woman's doors are open. Megwa means while. Kwe means woman. Shkwandaman means his or her doors in this case. Jesin is our VI word. And then our ing suffix is our B form. But we get rid of that I sound in between the S and the N there. So that's how we go from jesin to jesning. So in summary, B-form phrases don't inherently make sense on their own because they're dependent clauses. So they're reliant on something else, further information. For the purposes of your learning, I will try to restrict B-form inflection to the grammar patterns shared in this lesson. B-form inflections are strictly suffixes for all verbs in Nishnaabemwin. Tenses can also be used with B-form inflections by attaching the appropriate prefix to the verb. B-form inflections do not interfere with this because one is a prefix and B-form is a suffix. For third-person phrases, plurality is indicated with the noun. So if the noun has the appropriate suffix, then you know it's plural. Fourth-person phrases, plurality is discerned through context, extrapolated from the conversation. Our VI, words that end in D or T sounds, to inflect them in B form, replace the D or T sound with the B form suffix, either G or nig, depending on third person or fourth person. Fourth person B form suffixes for VI words that end in N sounds, like jesin or gboksin, are different because the stress pattern changes from syncopation. That's why we go from nig to ing. They're the same thing, it's just how vowel dropping works in this dialect. So before we go on, so these are the grammar patterns that we'll be using in our assignments, in our worksheet. And unfortunately, I didn't put these in the dictionary. So I recommend you use this slide when looking up B-form grammar patterns for your worksheet. Now I'll show you what's expected of your worksheet. So we have matched the following English sentences to the correct Ojibwe translations. So if you don't know these words, again, you can just look them up in the dictionary. So mild, just command copy, go into our dictionary, mild, and so that the word is abois. And so the answer is here is B. Just type that in there, and you can do that for the rest. Let's see here. Next, we have multiple choice here. When on up kidwinning. So match the correct word to the word. So we're going to use jabopte. So command copy if you don't know it. You can always look it up in the dictionary unless you have it memorized. Hopefully you do by this point. So jabopte means rolling. So it is rolling. A, it is empty. Nope. B, it is broken. Nope. C, it is falling. Nope. D, it is rolling. That's our answer right there. All right, so you know to go through the rest of these. You should be familiar with all of them. So, what form have our verbs been in so far? So, prior to this lesson, what form has our verbs been in? Have they been in A form, independent clause, B form, dependent clause, or C form? So, what is the difference between an independent clause and a dependent clause? Provide examples of each. So, an independent clause, is that something that makes sense on its own, or is that something that needs further information to make sense? And is a dependent clause something that makes sense on its own, or something that needs further information? Try to come up with your own examples to explain the difference between independent clause and dependent clause, like I did in the PowerPoint presentation. So what is the difference in meaning A form and B form in Ojibwe? So how do we why do we use terms like A form and B form? And which one are they? Is A form a dependent clause or an independent clause? Is B form a dependent clause or independent clause? So which one of these makes sense on its own? Or which one needs further information? Number 6, does B form make sense on its own? So that was covered in our PowerPoint presentation. Next one. In Ojibwe, we have grammar patterns that require different inflection paradigms, i.e. conjugations. The following words cause B form inflections or conjugations. Translate the following words. So this is where that one slide of our PowerPoint will come in handy. So ondewenje, that means why. And then so you can use that page in our slideshow to answer the rest of these words here. Or in the case of this one, a prefix. Moving on to section 8. Akanotan wasne Nishnaabemwin means translate these into Ojibwe. So we have even though the books were open. So in our PowerPoint, we learned how to say even though. So in our grammar patterns here, so we're looking for even though, which is right here. So onwe plus B form. So we can type in on we space, and we're talking about the books. So we can look that up here. Book. Oh, right here. So zin and gun, but we're talking about books. So we're gonna add the plural suffix an. Ne gun un, but we take a look at our third last consonant as always. So n is our last one, second last one is another n, third last one is a g. We have a vowel on this side and a short vowel on this side. So when that happens, we get rid of that short vowel after the g. So that's how we get onwe mzinignan. Now we're looking for the verb for open, the VII word. So open, VII. So it's jesin. Now we need our B form suffix. So we can consult our PowerPoint here. So this is the one for N sounds, like jesin. And so we can go to fourth person or third person plural. So we just need a G at the end of our verb. So that's it. That's how to translate even though the books were open. Alright, so I'll leave you to fill out the rest of these. Next one, section 9. Akanotan wasne ejajagna shimian means translate these into English. So we have onwe. So we know that word means even though. So we can start that word here. Even though. And then we're going straight into our verb here. So we know a lot of these verbs end with G sounds, but we can just look up that whole word there and see if anything pops up in our dictionary. Nope. So let's start deleting off the N. Oh, now we have something. So closed, geboksin. So we're talking about something being closed. So even though let's leave that for now. And so we got the word mkak-un. So if you don't know what that word is, we can always look it up. All right, so nothing popped up for mkak-un. So when something like this happens, we know to start deleting letters off the end. So delete the N, delete the A. Oh, okay, now we're brought to this word here, box. And so the letters we deleted were right here. So we were talking about something plural. So we're talking about boxes. So even though the boxes and then our verb is closed, are closed. So that's how you do these translations here. So I'll leave the rest to you. How? Bon appetit. Good luck.